Hello and welcome to the Downton FC podcast. This week we're joined by Downton club captain Gary Brown. Hi Gary.
Alright lads.
So having not played this season due to your ankle injury, how frustrating is it to watch the team from the sidelines?
It's heartbreaking initially, but once you dust yourself down, I had time to accept what's happened. And when you watch games, I hate watching football the best of times in the house, but when you're watching the games, when they're winning, it's great, you know, I can sit back and really enjoy the game. But it's when they're losing I get most frustrated, which I'm very surprised about. I thought it would be hard to watch it either way, but when they're winning, it's really easy to watch, and you become a fan.
And did you realise it was a serious injury at the time when you did it?
In the first couple of seconds, no, and then after a bit, yeah. I mean, I've done ankle injuries before, and I don't know if you've done. You feel like a lot of snaps, and it's like a branch snapping, and you feel them all go up your leg, and your knee goes numb up your knee, and that's what happened. I thought, oh, it's just minor ligament damage. I didn't realise it was as bad as it was.
So how disappointing was it when you found out that you were going to be out for an extended period?
Well, I'm used to it, to be honest. If I get an injury, I never just get like a calf strain. It's never a few weeks. I think I've had 3 or 4 injuries over my career, and every single one of them has been an operation and 6 months out. So when I knew, well, to be fair, I wanted the surgery as quick as possible. You know, I think a few hospitals would maybe try and say, oh, we'll give you 6 weeks, see if it recovers naturally. The club was brilliant. They got me in for a scan on the Tuesday, and I had done it on the Saturday. They got me straight in, and the Woodlands Hospital's been brilliant. They pushed us on straight into surgery.
So what has your fitness routine been whilst you've been out?
I'm one of those people who, as soon as I get to know about something, I tend to read up on it a lot. So I read up on the injury, watched a few operations online, as stupid as that sounds, and I was reading reviews of people, and people were saying they weren't weight bearing until 3 months, people weren't getting back to sport for 12 months, and it hit us a bit, that. So I was determined to beat it, and sure enough, 4 weeks after the operation I was back fully weight bearing, and back at work. And then ever since then I've just kicked on, and I've been having physio with Steve Wood and Joe Hour, club physios, and with Dallas at the Woodlands, and basically it's been from learning to stand, to learning to walk, to learning to jog, to learning to run. And I didn't realise how much was involved. You've got to train your brain again. They've done an exercise, for instance, I was looking in a mirror and just watching my foot, and you had to try and go up on your tiptoes, and my brain was telling us I was up, and he said look in the mirror, and I wasn't even off the floor. So it was really hard, but I've come a long way. And the surgeon, at the minute, I'm 3 months post-op now, and I'm ready to go back and be involved in 20 minutes of football next week. And the surgeon usually says that would only happen in 6 to 7 months, so I'm like 3 months ahead. I think it's all in the head. I think it's what type of mental state you've got.
So what's your timetable now for getting back and playing?
Like I say, first full training session will be tonight with the lads, and then I've got to do another one next week. And then if I get no reactions and I'm happy, I can go into playing 20 minutes of football, the week after 25 to 30 to 40, and just build it up from there.
And are you confident, are you not worried, I should say, that you've rushed back maybe? Or?
No. In the past, I've rushed injuries back. Cartilage, rushed it back. I had to go for another scan. Luckily I hadn't done anything serious. But this one, with it being sort of new ligaments, they've made a new ligament for me. They've like drilled it and screwed it into my bone. So I know it's all new and it's all tight, and I'm not waiting for the ligament to repair so much. It's more of the whole ankle joint, and Mr Van Niekerk, who done the operation, he's done a hell of a lot of football, like proper footballers, Premier League footballers, operations, and he's very happy with it. So if he's happy, that gives me a massive confidence in myself.
And switching back to Darlington, obviously they're on a massive unbeaten run at the moment. How impressed have you been with the club and the form?
It doesn't surprise me one bit. From day one, the way Martin, Aki, Griggs, Tony Norman, the way they have the lads prepared, is the best I've seen about. And I've never been at a pro club, but I imagine that's what it is. and that rubs off into games. And the way I think when we're losing a couple of games start the season, Martin Atty are quick, they're straight on top of it, and they change our gameplay. I think recently we were playing like a 4-4-2, and we were like struggling, scrappy games. All of a sudden we changed to 4-3-3, and that's when we've got on our run. So that's totally down to the lads adapting well to what the management said.
And how confident are the team that they can achieve promotion this season?
Well, you've got to be. You've got to be. I mean, we're wasting our time if we don't think we can get promoted. All the lads are well driven. We're all really good friends away from the football as well. Obviously met through the football, but we're good friends away from it, and that comes into play. Like days at Kendal the other week there, the pitch was horrendous, the weather was horrendous. I think their penalty got blown in after Belly had saved it. And when you dig in together like that, and you fight, and that's what it gets about.
Do you expect to find it hard to get back into the first team?
Oh, 100%. Especially this stage of the season. I think, obviously, barring any suspensions or injuries, at centre-half, Whitey and Hunter have made such a good partnership together. And that's like in the spine of the team, two centre-halves at the back. I think if I was a manager, I wouldn't be swapping none of them on form. If one gets injured or suspended, then yeah, slot somebody in. But I wouldn't be changing anything. So it's going to be very, very hard for me to get back in this season. Just the same as it would have been last season for anybody. Me and Joe Tate, centre halves for all season, just as Whitey and Hunter has. And if somebody had come in last season, I think Jordan Robinson came in, and Jordan couldn't get in the team because me and Joe were doing so well together at a crucial part of the season. And Whitey and Hunter's no different. So I wouldn't expect to be involved as heavily to this season.
So moving on to your life as a part-time footballer, what is it like trying to balance playing football and having a full-time job? Well,
your work has to take priority. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what pays the bills. But lads at this level have done it. Like I've played Northern League since I was 19, I think, and so I've done it for plenty of years. So you get used to it. You get used to it. Like I say, your work does take priority at the end of the day.
And how has the injury impacted on your day-to-day life, like your job?
Luckily, I've got a good boss, and I was off. I think I was off a week when I got injured, and I went back and he monitored me and he said, "Yeah, you're all right." And then after the operation, I was only expecting to be off for 2 weeks, but I had to take a month out, and he paid me full wages. He was brilliant about it. So I've been lucky, but if I'd been working at the other place where I worked before, it'd been the same as anybody's statutory sick pay, and that would have took a hit. You've got mortgage problems then for a month or whatever, but I've been lucky.
And the news broke recently that the players at Darlington had contributed to the fundraising initiative. Why did the players decide to make that contribution?
Well, when you're at somewhere like Darlington at the level we're at, and you've been to other clubs and you see how well the club's ran, how well you get treated, what the fans are like with you. I mean, they treat you like celebrities, and we're not really. We're just like day-to-day blokes at the end of the day, just like somebody you'd pass in the supermarket or anything like that. And all the players are still overwhelmed with the support we get of everybody, be it club staff or club fans. And we just thought this is the only way we can give something back to the fans that's been so loyal, and help them achieve their dream of getting the club back up and back to the town where it belongs. And that's the only way we could help, really.
And how important is it that the players and the staff set the example in terms of donating, so that the fans and other sponsors can take note of that?
At the end of the day, I think the players and the staff, it gives a good little incentive for fans, but at the end of the day, it's the fans club. It's not the players club. So we want to help the fans as to help themselves, sort of thing. But the fans is definitely the most important party in getting the club back to the town.
And how much of a boost do you think it will be next season to be back in Darlington?
Like I said, it'll be massive. It'll be big for the club. It'll be massive for the fans. You know, 2 years ago they wouldn't envisage that they would see the Dalton badge again on a football shirt, and then all of a sudden 2 years down the line it's happening so quick to get them back, so it's going to be absolutely massive. I think the attendances will improve massively. I think more local businesses will get involved, and it'll give the club that little bit extra help that any club would need.